Solid woods can be glued together to make wider boards. This applies to hardwoods such as maple, mahogany, and oak, as well as softwoods such as spruce, pine, and fir. In this example, we will be gluing together these three pieces of softwood lumber, commonly known as 2x4s. The first step before gluing is to ensure that the three boards are uniform in thickness and that their edges are perfectly flat and square to their wide faces. Laying the boards together on a flat surface, we can see that the edges of the board are obvious at the seams. They are not flat, square, or uniform. You must take the time to properly prepare your solid wood materials to ensure a successful glue-up. The process for preparing the wood is covered in separate training videos, but involve the use of the jointer, the planer, and the table saw. After the wood has been prepared with these machines, you can see that the seams between the wood pieces are now tight, flat, and uniform, which will result in a quality glue-up. Test fit your pieces without glue so you are clear exactly how and where they will be placed once you start applying glue. After you have your pieces arranged how you intend to glue them, put some marks across the seam and number your pieces so that you can easily keep track of the order in which you want them laid down. Shuffle them around until you find the best fit for your pieces. Although it is not always necessary, it is often helpful to use a piece of white melamine-covered particle board to assist with glue-ups. These will help keep your boards flat while gluing, and the Titebond will not stick to the melamine, which is helpful for cleanup. Take note that we have also raised the entire glue-up assembly up off of the table by using a pair of 2x4s on edge. This allows you to get clamps around and under your material. It will also allow you to lift and move your glue-up to a more convenient location while the glue dries. For solid wood glue-ups, original Titebond is usually the best choice and is readily available. Arrange your boards on edge and lay down a line of glue down the center of each edge. Use a glue spreader to evenly distribute the glue to the entire gluing surface. Do not worry about excess glue squeezing out from the seams. It can be cleaned up with a moist rag or simply left to dry and be removed later. You will see that we want glue on each surface to be glued, including the centerpiece. Centerpiece can be flipped up onto the adjacent piece, and glue can be added to the last edge face. To begin clamping, we add several clamps along the length of our pieces to squeeze the pieces together from the sides. Only tighten the clamps partially until all your clamps are in place, and then tighten the clamps until you reach your final desired pressure. With your partner, start on each edge, add your clamps, and tighten gently. In this case, we add a third clamp to the middle, and that's sufficient for these three boards. We have also added additional clamps and paper-wrapped blocks for a downward force to keep all the pieces flat to the melamine glue-up board. It's important to wrap the clamping blocks with paper so they don't become glued to your stock material, becoming a permanent part of your project. After you have completed the clamping procedure, clean up your tools and work area and write your net ID on a part of the top so you can easily identify your glue-up after the clamps are removed. Shop technicians often have to move glue-ups to free up additional workbench space, so don't expect your glue-up to always be exactly where you left it. We have a wire rack in the shop where we store completed glue-ups, so you can check there or ask a technician for help. Once your glue-up has had a night of drying, it will be ready for CNC milling the next day. If it is especially thick or multi-layered, additional drying time may be necessary before milling. We cannot run any materials with wet glue through any of our woodworking machines, and it must also be fully dry before CNC steps.